The critique. 2 weeks into her residency, Alex found herself facing a new challenge. Her first critique session with Sofia and the other artists in residence. The thought of sharing her work with established artists filled her with a mixture of excitement and dread. The morning of the critique, Alex carefully selected 3 pieces to present. Her first painting of the sunburst shore's skyline, an abstract inspired by the art walk, and her most recent work incorporating elements from Geode Beach. As she carried them to the communal studio space, her hands trembled slightly. The room was already buzzing with activity when she arrived. 5 other artists were setting up their work, each piece as unique as its creator. Alex recognized Milo, who gave her an encouraging thumbs up as she entered. Sofia swept into the room, her presence immediately commanding attention. "Good morning, everyone," she said, clapping her hands together. "Let's begin, shall we?" As each artist presented their work, Alex listened intently, absorbing the constructive feedback Sofia and the others provided. She was struck by the supportive atmosphere. Even when critiques were harsh, they were always delivered with the intent to help the artist grow. Finally, it was Alex's turn. With a deep breath, she stood before her paintings. "These represent my journey so far in Sunburst Shores," she began, her voice steadier than she expected. "From my first tentative steps to my explorations of the local art scene and natural wonders." Sofia nodded encouragingly, her eyes moving from piece to piece. "I see growth here, Alexandra. Your first piece shows promise, but it's constrained, almost afraid. But look at this last one. There's freedom in those brushstrokes, a willingness to experiment." The other artists chimed in with their observations. Milo praised her use of color in the art walk-inspired piece, while a sculptor named Jasmine suggested ways Alex could incorporate actual geode fragments into her paintings for added texture and depth. Then came the constructive criticism. Sofia pointed out areas where Alex's technique could be improved, suggesting exercises to help refine her skills. Another artist, Marco, challenged her to push her abstractions further, to truly let go of representational constraints. "Remember," Sofia said, addressing not just Alex but the entire group, "critique is not about tearing down, it's about building up. We point out areas for improvement because we see the potential for greatness." As the session ended, Alex felt a complex mix of emotions. Part of her was overwhelmed by all the feedback, unsure how to process it all, but another part felt invigorated, eager to get back to her studio and apply what she'd learned. Later that evening, as Alex sat in her studio reviewing her notes from the critique, there was a knock at her door. It was Sofia. "How are you feeling?" Sofia asked, stepping into the room. Alex sighed. "Honestly, a little overwhelmed, but also inspired." Sofia smiled knowingly. "That's exactly how you should feel. Critique can be tough, but it's an essential part of artistic growth." She paused, looking at Alex's paintings. "You know, when I first started out, I was terrified of critique. I took every comment personally, as an attack on my worth as an artist." "What changed?" Alex asked. "I realized that critique wasn't about me as a person, but about the work itself, and that every piece of feedback, whether positive or negative, was an opportunity to grow." Sofia turned to Alex. "But more importantly, you have the willingness to learn and improve. That's what will make you a true artist." As Sofia left, Alex turned back to her canvas with renewed determination. She began to sketch out a new piece, one that incorporated the feedback she'd received while still staying true to her own vision. For the first time, Alex felt like she truly belonged in this world of creativity and expression. She was no longer an outsider looking in, but a part of this vibrant artistic community. And with each brushstroke, she was one step closer to becoming the artist she'd always dreamed of being. As the Miami night settled in, its energy seeping through her studio windows, Alex worked tirelessly, excited to see where this new direction would take her art and her